Hello and welcome to the stream, everybody. We've got a one last wave update today, and then we're going to play some Satisfactory, which I let run all night long. It was a lot of fun. Woke up today, tons and tons of resources. It's going to be so cool. Put a 1 in the chat if you can't see and hear me. Let's get you all in here right over here. This is a special Friday update. Look at my babies, everybody. They're so little. Little babies right there, but you're going to see them magically grow up right in front of your eyes. What we're going to do today, everybody, is this is a special just chatting session where we do a little bit of story time, where Kismet goes on a grand adventure, brought to you by a lot of you, and of course a lot of my craziness as well, throwing this whole entire thing on credit card and hoping some point I can pay it off. But long ago, when my kids were little, right here, we took them on a trip to California to meet their grandparents. And they were right here. My youngest daughters here are 5, and my oldest daughter is around 8. And so we also took them to Disneyland. We did all of that stuff, which is a funny thing because you'll see some funny photos after this one. And then fast forward 10 years later, everybody, after I had gotten ill and I couldn't go anywhere and I couldn't do anything, I was basically trapped inside my house for a very long time. And then I finally just started working on my health and then got a little better and a little better each day. And then I am still doing that to this day, everybody. It's pushing that line back just a little bit more every day so I can do more and try. I'll never be the way I was before, but at least I can not be trapped in the bed. My goal now is just to get another day. So once I got this day done, then I'm going to say, okay, I'm going to get another day tomorrow. That's where I am in my life right now. Just trying to get that extra day, as many extra days as I can get. So you got to want to live, everybody. You got to want to get up and do your thing and walk around. The thing that usually wipes people out the most is they get sad, they get depressed. They'll lose a loved one, especially when you're older and you retire and you lose your spouse. And then, oh God, then very quickly after that, there's no reason for that person to live because they lived for their spouse. And then boom, a year later or so, they pass away too, very quickly after the other person. That happens quite often. So you got to have a reason to live, everybody. And instead of just solving problems and grinding out for money, you got to have a reason to get up in the morning and do something I think is a little good in the world. Bring a little good in the world. Bring a little joy, positivity, and that's what I do here in the stream. So today we're going to bring a lot of positivity into the stream and talk about my One Last Wave project, which I was going to do when I was 50 years old, which was 3 years ago. But sadly, COVID dropped on that year. Of course, the universe screwing with me as always. So I was going to do that on that, but I'm glad I didn't because I was not strong enough then. And I was barely strong enough this time, as we'll see. But I was strong enough to go out there at least a few times and try to catch some waves, and it was very fun. But really, I did it for these 3 people right here, everybody, for my daughters. My wife does not like to be in the water. She is the exact opposite of me, everybody. I like to be in the water all the time. I mean, I like to be in the ocean. I like to be in the rivers. I like to be anywhere I can be where there's water. I'm all about it. But my wife does not like that. She's the complete opposite of me. She'd rather sit on the beach and read a book. I know some people are like that. And then my kids are very adventurous like me. They have my adventurous side, but then they also luckily have a good balance between the two, the crazy wild side, which is me, and then the very, everyday, sensible side that is my wife. So that's good. They got a good balance there, everybody. Me, I'll go try crazy stuff. I don't care because you only get one life, everybody. The worst thing you could do is say, oh man, I sure wish I did, right? I sure wish I did the thing. I wish I took that chance. I wish I asked that person out. I wish I did the thing with the stuff and the thing, right? Those are the things you're going to regret at the thing. At the end, you won't say, man, I sure wish I worked more. I wish I spent more time away from my family and from my friends. Oh man, I wish I could have been a bigger jerk in life. Those things you're not going to say at the end, everybody. At the end, you're going to look back at your life and say, man, I could have went left. I could have went right. I could have done this. I could have done this in the moment. And instead of me doing that, I just do that thing in a moment. I just say, go for it. Let's do it. And so that's what I did last year into this year. I've been planning this actually for years and years and years since 2019. And I really filled it, everybody. I filled it with just a ton of things for my kids to experience. And again, when you see your kids as a parent, everybody, this is how you see them. When they're young and sweet and wonderful, and they're just exploring the world and learning all the basic stuff that we take for granted as adults. And then they grow up and then they get an attitude. Especially girls, everybody. Girls get big attitude. Daddy, and they get that attitude and they talk to you with disrespect. Respect is number one thing in my family. You talk to my wife with respect. You talk to me with respect. You talk with everybody with respect, regardless if they talk to you with respect. That's nothing to do with it. What you do is on you, and what they do is on them, right? You got to be true to yourself as you go along in life. So I did raise funds for the Hawaii part of it, but not the California part. That part I just blasted about $15,000 on my credit cards, by the way. And find some way to pay for it at some point. We'll find out. Because I don't make a dime doing this. I put every penny back into it. So that'll be me and my wife trying to pay down that credit card debt for the next, I don't know how many years, for a lot of years. A lot of years. But I can't wait till later. It's not like I can plan 5 or 10 years in the future, everybody. I don't know if I'm still going to be around. Right? I didn't even know I was going to still be around at 50. So especially now I made it to 53. Now I'm just trying to go, for another day. I just try to get another day every day. If I get another day, I'm good. I'm good. See, it's your perspective changes as you get older, everybody. When you're young, you think you're going to live forever. You're invincible. You can do anything and go anywhere and do anything, and you can, pretty much. Just be smart about it. And then when you get older, not so much, because you start to wind down. And also you stop taking care of yourself as much as you did. You're less active than you were when you were young. When you're young, you're out, you're young, and you're vibrant, and you're running all over the place. But when you get older, you get the job, you get the family, you get all of that stuff, and then, you're grinding just to keep them fed, right? And to keep them clothes and get them school supplies and all of that stuff. And you spend a good 20 years or more of your life basically working toward that goal. Keeping the family going, and earning those few dollars that you can, and you're scraping them from wherever you can get them to keep the family going. And it's been a struggle. It's been a struggle for a very long time, but even more so now, because it's really crazy now, everybody. It's just nuts. So again, can't wait till later, everybody. I can't wait until I'm too old to do it. And the same thing, I was going to take my wife to Paris, which really sucks, because I just realized when I got back from the One Last Wave project that TwitchCon was in Paris. The one time my wife would have wanted to go with me to TwitchCon, that would have been the one. And I owe her a trip to Paris, because I foregoed our trip to Paris when we were young because I had to work on these big projects. And they were coming to an end right at the time in which we were going to travel. So I said, I'll move back. We'll go again another time. And then we didn't go the second time because another big project was going on. I was a workaholic when I was young, everybody. And I thought, well, no problem. We'll just go at some other point. 25 years later, everybody, never went. Never went, and now it's probably $10,000 for 2 people to go there. I don't even know. I'm not even going to look at it. It's depressing to even think about it. But I could have took my wife to Paris, everybody, and that would have been amazing, and she would have loved it. But I didn't know that was going to be TwitchCon Paris because I wasn't paying attention because I wasn't going to go to TwitchCon. So there we go. She would have absolutely loved that. But let's say hello to everybody in the chat, and then we're going to dive in. We're going to talk a little bit about the One Last Wave project, show a bunch of photos. I got photos from everybody, from my whole family, and we put them in there, and I kind of mixed them in there, so they might jump around a little bit, but I think you guys will enjoy it. And again, thanks for all your support here in the stream, everybody. I appreciate it. Of course, you show that sub love. You just lurk in the channel. You dropping bits. I appreciate everybody who keeps this crazy idea of mine going, this crazy stream, because this does take a lot of effort to keep going, for sure. Paul coming in, showing some love. What up, Paul? What up, Ebs? Yes. Oh, look at all those ones in the chat. Thank you so much for that one there, Jay Thurbrick. Appreciate it. Hello, Foggy. What up? Appreciate all that love. That's not you at all, says Flux. What's not you? What's not you? YOLOing, wild, straight-laced, give me the lowdown. All right, well, let's dive right into it so we can get this going, and then we'll play some Satisfactory after that. Let's go. All right, here we are, everybody. One Last Wave project sponsored for viewers just like you. I appreciate all that love, everybody. So there they are, my three little babies, my oldest daughter, and then my youngest twins there. They're twin daughters. All of them are girls, everybody. Only Rooster in the hen house over here. Even the dog was female. But there they are when they are little. They're so cute when they're little like that. They're having an exciting adventure. It's the first time they ever went on a plane, by the way, and they don't remember any of it. But that's why you get pictures, right? So here they are coloring with little crayons, keeping them busy. They were very well behaved in there. My one daughter, wow, her hair is really super blonde there. And then my other daughter has red hair. They actually both had red hair when they were born. So did I. My other twin daughter there, she has my hair that went from red to a platinum blonde like that. And then it went darker, and then whenever she's out in the sun, it bleaches out back to blonde again, which is pretty cool. So there they are doing that, and of course, this is them enjoying Disneyland about halfway through the day, everybody. So you spent, thousands of dollars to travel and to go to Disneyland, and this is what your kids are doing about halfway through the day. Now, before this, though, they went and saw all the princesses, and we went and had dinner or lunch with the princesses, and we did all of that stuff. And of course, you always got to have a little munchy stuff there. They got little popcorn in their little strollers that we're pushing around in. And this is our, what we call the Cadillac of strollers, everybody. It's actually a dual stroller, so you can have twins in there. And then my oldest daughter would hold on to the back. And then I'd push all three of them through the thing. You could actually, that's me right here, Stan. You can see me with my old school shoes there. That eventually I used those. I just noticed those are the shoes I eventually obliterated. I wore those so long they had holes in them, everybody. I used to use them for the lawn as well. So yeah, there's one of my daughters asleep, and then the other one in the front. But look at that. She's got herself a little looks like Pluto there that she's holding on to as we're walking along. And again, this is halfway through the day. So then it's just you pushing your kids around until they wake up from their nap. And then this me and my oldest daughter taking a photo. Man, look it's only 10 years ago, everybody, but I look like I've aged about 30 years. I've been through some stuff, everybody. And that's when I was heavier, too. I lost 50 pounds. On top of that, I was like 230 pounds at 5'9". That's not good, everybody. That's super unhealthy. And that's because I was sitting and working and doing all of that stuff all the time, right? Just constantly worried more about keeping the family going. Because my wife wasn't working at this time, by the way. My wife didn't work for the first 10 years of my daughters, because I was doing the working, she was watching the kids, because it's just as much for your wife to stay home, I think, than to pay someone to watch your kids all the time. Then you have some random person watching your kids and raising your kids for you. I don't think that's a good thing. That's just me and my old school ways. So my wife raised my kids and took care of them. And of course, I'd come home every day, say hello to them. I'd fly them around like a little Superman or Supergirl, especially my oldest daughter there. She loved it when I flew her to bed every night. So, all right, time to fly to bed. Woo! To fly her to bed and put her in her bed and all of that. But now they grow up and they have attitude. See, again, this is when they're wonderful. Everybody, you're their hero and whatnot. And then they get to a point where, of course, that's natural, everybody. It's natural for you to push away from your parents because you've got to go off and have your own adventure in life. And that's okay. But appreciate your parents, everybody. I spent 20 years of my life raising my kids and basically feeding and clothing them for a very, very long time. Yeah, very long. And of course, this is one of my favorite shots, everybody. This is actually my oldest daughter when she was little. And that's her little feet there. And this is me teaching my daughters how to use computer. So I had this old Mac clamshell laptop, which I absolutely loved. And then she's like, Daddy, show me how to use the computer. And I'm showing her for the first time how to use the computer. She's like, I don't know, 2 or 3 years old right there. And then she's going to go on to be a software engineer. So very, very cool that, I had a little hand in that. And of course, I've shown all my daughters how to use the computer and phones and all of that stuff. And they're super smart. So they went way beyond what I've taught them. And of course, when we were on the plane going there, this is one of my favorite shots as well. This is one of my twins here, the redhead, and she's looking back at me. And I said, I got to get that photo. So that's one of my favorite photos right there. Very, very awesome. Yeah, what a difference, right? Yeah, 50 pounds make a difference. If I get rid of 30 pounds more, I'd be really styling. They all go through that until they hit 25 and they want dad all the time. I'm like that. Yeah, see, that's the thing. and they're just trying to, they're just trying to create their own, personal space, their own barrier in which they do it. And, you kind of go through that stage where you think you know it all. And then you realize even when you're 50 years old, you don't know squat. I've been around 50 years and I can tell you a lot. I know a lot of stuff about some stuff and nothing about other stuff. And then I also admit when I don't know now, instead of it being like a negative thing, like, oh, I don't know this thing, I'm just going to pretend like I know. No, everybody, that took me a long time to learn that was a bad way to take, because then you can't learn anything. You basically lock yourself into being stuck in one place and you don't progress as a person. So this is one of my favorite shots. Now, we tried to remake this shot in the next one here, right here. Now, fast forward 10 years later, everybody. And here they are on the plane, on the way, my twins, right there. And we're on our way out to California, because we're going to go to California first and then on to Hawaii. And of course, I saw this cool dragon in the clouds, a little foreshadowing. Everybody's like, oh, that's awesome. Because one of my shirts that I have is the twin dragons of me, my original logo here on the stream for Kismet. And here we are just landing. I think this is in Charlotte, North Carolina, which is a sea of humanity. I don't know why I didn't take a picture of that, everybody. I should have took a picture inside the airport. It's just thousands of people in there. It's so miserable. And so we had to fly the opposite direction of where we were going. We had to fly east first to Charlotte, North Carolina, and then fly all the way back to California. So this is us at Charlotte here. And here's a beautiful shot here, everybody. Let's see. If I can get my sound to come on. There we go. Look at this. It looks like rolls of cotton. That's what it looks like to me. It's so cool. And then this is traveling to California here. Just giving you the vibe. Well, what I tell my girls is that I love them despite everything. I'll love them forever. I don't have a favorite, everybody. Love is an infinite thing. It doesn't run out. So now and forever is what I tell them. Now, once we got there, of course, we got through the amazing thing. Now, by the way, this is a whole bunch of extra photos from the last time that you guys are seeing. You can see my daughters are super excited about sitting here renting a car. Our rental car, by the way, is in the back behind that gray van there. Over there, and I'm arguing with the lady. The lady's like, well, you got too much luggage. You're going to need an SUV. And I'm like, no, I don't want no SUV at $5 to $6 a gallon. Forget that. I got to drive up and down a whole bunch of stuff. It's going to cost me an absolute fortune. So I wanted to get one of those Prius, because my daughter got in a car accident and the guy crashed into her, which is a whole nother story for another time. But she got a rental car that was the Prius, and it was awesome. And I was like, okay, well, I'll rent one of those while I'm there. But they didn't have one that was big enough for all of our luggage and all that, because everybody has one of those little bags you see there, those little pink bags. And you can see this is actually my bag over here on the side. But we couldn't fit it in there because the trunk wasn't big enough. So I was like, well, what else do you got that's a hybrid? And they had a Ford Focus hybrid. So I said, oh, that's probably enough. Ford Focus probably has a big trunk. So I go out there and, yep, big trunk. So, and the lady was trying to sell me on, basically it was going to be double the amount, the cost of renting the car. I'm like, no, no, thank you. So we got it, and they're just chilling out, having a good time. And of course, the second we get to California, guess where we went, everybody? Do you know what the name of this is? What's the name of this restaurant, everybody? Because they don't have them in Tennessee. Well, at least not yet. They're actually bringing them to Tennessee. Yes, the Mrs. Kismet there for a moment. Yes, In-N-Out Wombat. That's 1,000 kiss caps. You didn't know this was going to be a quiz, did you? So yes, we went immediately to In-N-Out Burger. I actually went to In-N-Out Burger twice on that trip. But my wife absolutely loves In-N-Out Burger. I do too. I think it's the best, but that's just me and my crazy ideas. We also went to Shake Shack, which they have over on this side as well. I actually went with my daughter when she was touring college. This is my oldest daughter there going to college this year as well. And they're enjoying their shake there. And I saw this, and I showed this last time, but I thought I'd show it again. The mega size, everybody. Whenever I see the word mega, I always think of my stream now. But yeah, mega size of Lucky Charms and Honey Nut Cheerios over there. I saw that in the store. It made me laugh. And I was like, oh, I got to take a picture of that for the stream because that's too funny. Now, of course, we end up here in the wonderful Huntington Beach, everybody. This is where I grew up as a kid. Now, I used to live in Huntington Beach when I was little, until I was about 5 years old, and then moved to Orange County, which is way inland, about 12, 15 miles away from the beach. But I would ride my bike down, or I'd go with a friend, or I would ride the bus, whatever had to be done. To get down to Lifeguard Station 13. So if you ever go to Huntington Beach, everybody go to Lifeguard 13, and there you go. So yeah, beautiful, beautiful sunset coming in. So on the first day, what we did is we went to In-N-Out Burger, and then we went down to Huntington Beach just to kind of show the girls where I grew up. Now, I tell them all these stories, everybody, of me growing up and all these things I did when I was young and so on and so forth. And I feel like most of the time they don't believe me. But I always tell the truth, everybody. I always tell it to them straight. And I don't sugarcoat it or nothing like that. I don't make stuff up. I just tell it like it is. You know, the funny thing is that the truth is stranger than fiction, right? So that's why I just tell it like it is. I don't make up stuff. Yes, and there it is. Beautiful sunset there. That's kind of a low quality photo there, but you get the idea. There we go. That's me and my daughter standing in the Pacific Ocean. This is again in California, on Huntington Beach. We're just putting our feet in the water there, having a good time. There's Lifeguard Station 13, which I showed last time. But you can actually see the lifeguard is in there. See when you see that orange thing up there, that means the lifeguard is actually in there. I actually was a lifeguard for a summer, everybody, for one summer, right there at Lifeguard 13. And it's right off of the waste treatment plant, which I forgot. And then nothing ever happened. Not one thing. Because there was rarely anybody there. It's usually people just walking by. But other than that, there was like nobody there whenever I was there. So it was like the easiest job of all time. Very, very cool. And of course, my wife and kids, these are some of their photos as well. Taking shots of like the palm trees and stuff like that. And this is us taking, on the next day, we went down to a place called Laguna Beach. Now, Laguna Beach is kind of the touristy area. You can see it way over there on that side. It's kind of the touristy area for people to hang out. And people hang out there, play volleyball. You can see it down here, as well as they play basketball. A bunch of people just sit on the beach here. And the waves are real mellow right there. So you can go in there and hang out. So we drove all the way down there. I went into this gas station. I saw there was a free parking spot, and I parked in that gas station. I'm like, how much is it to park out there? He's like, $25. And I'm like, well, we're only going to be here for like, you know, an hour at most. He's like, yeah, $25. And I'm like, all right, I'll just pay it. So, because otherwise I would have had to look for a parking spot, and it was packed with people down there. So I was like, nah, I'm good. I'm good. Because it was like a Friday that we went and we did that. And then, of course, here's a beautiful beach here at Laguna Beach. Here's all of us sitting there, getting a thumbs up there, getting a selfie in the background, just having a good time. We just started real slow, everybody, real mellow, because when you travel, you have that, you know, time change and all of that stuff. And then I didn't even realize it, but they have these little wading pools where they have all little creatures and things down there. And then my daughter pointing stuff out. My other daughter over there looking in the thing, basically looking for, you know, little sea creatures and all of that in these little tide pools that's down there in Laguna Beach. So make sure to check that out. I forgot that was a thing. We just kind of walked over there because there was a bunch of people over there on the rocks. And when we got over there, we realized it was a whole tide pool thing, which is really cool. And there's a great shot of the tide pools. Very cool. And then my oldest daughter just like fell in love with this lady or something. They were just talking forever, everybody. They're talking about, oh, well, this is a sea creature, and this is this, and this is how you do this. This lady was is a park ranger, or basically she was overseeing the tide pools, right, from the city. And they both were just talking, and they just had the greatest time just talking all sorts of stuff. My oldest daughter loves to learn, so big love to her. And they were talking all about sea creatures and how they live and, you know, all their stuff. Me, I was just watching my girls so they don't get sucked out to sea. And then there's the Laguna Beach lifeguard department over there. There's a beautiful tree right there. And again, in the background there, that's actually where I was parked, just up the street right over there. Just right there. Beautiful tree there. That's been there probably for 100 years or so. Very long time. I also saw this as I went by. I think they owe me royalties. What do you guys think in the chat? You guys think they owe me royalties or what? when we were going down into Laguna Beach, there was the Kismet Rug Gallery there. I was like, hey, somebody took my name. And then, of course, we went down to Newport Beach, and I had bought them a bunch of toys to play in the sand, and so they got this little crab toy that they made a little crab thing, which is pretty awesome. This is me doing my thing, everybody. This is how you know someone who loves the water or loves surfing or anything like that. Is they stand out there and they watch the waves. And they're looking at the waves like, okay, this one's breaking left, this one's breaking right, this one's curling in. And that's what you do. It's like you're in love with the waves. It's like you're, looking at your special someone. The person who loves the water will do this for hours. I could do that for endless hours, but just stand out there in the water and watch the waves come in and just get that vibe of being at the beach and getting, at the ocean. It's the thing I miss the most about not living in California. Everything else, I don't miss any of that. I miss the beach the most. But there we go. And then also down in Newport Beach, the old spaghetti factory. Highly recommend it. It is so incredibly good. I basically begged them to let us go in there. And finally, the lady relented and let us have an appointment. We went in there, and there was barely anybody in there. They didn't have enough servers, I think, was the problem. It wasn't that packed. So, yes. Here's my kids out there jumping in the water. I was very proud of them because they went way out there. When they were little, they didn't like to go even 2 steps into the water. And they're going way out there in the water. And they went even further, everybody. They went further, way out there, big time. Hollywood sign, because we went to Hollywood next, over by the Capitol Records building. They have the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Now, my wife took a picture of just literally hundreds of these stars, everybody, but I'm going to give you just a little taste of it, not torture you with 100 photos of stars. But Bob Seger and the Silver Bullet Band, Tina Turner, Natalie Cole, Neil Diamond, Buddy Holly, who is that? Paul McCartney, I don't even know if that's Ringo Starr. George Harrison, John Lennon, Roy Orbison, Garth Brooks. You can see the ones that she likes. She likes all the ones that are singers and whatnot. Giant CNN building, by the way, in LA there, and Hollywood and Vine. You can see it actually say Vine there on the thing. So we're standing at Hollywood and Vine. And again, Capitol Records building. Now, this is the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Now, you would think in your head, and this is my one of my twins, in her head, it was like a super exciting thing. You got movie stars running around and all of that. And you get there, and there's a reason why I didn't tell her the reality, everybody, is because you need to experience it for yourself. There's something you build up in your head as this amazing, incredible place, and then you go there and you realize it's run down, it's dirty, there's homeless people in there, you got a bunch of people walking up and down the stars, and there's not really much going on. It's just you walking on the pavement looking at some stars of some names of some people. That's basically what you're doing with a whole lot of other people walking up and down as well. So yes, that's basically what we did. And of course, we went down to the Man's Chinese, which is right here. Of course, you got the Hard Rock, and then also the Dolby Theater, where they have the Oscars, by the way, right there. They also have tons of tours. You can do that. I was going to do the tour, and I thought, that's too much to do the tour, too. We stopped by here at the Ghirardelli store. You can see all the cool ice creams and stuff they have to get an ice cream because it was getting hot. And those were super good, by the way, everybody. Ghirardelli is the best, I think. And then there they are outside the Dolby Theater, again, where they have the Oscars. And then there is the Man's Chinese from across the street. And then we would go over to the other side of the street. And then, of course, they have all of the handprints, the Walk of Fame there, Keanu Reeves there, of course, the Avengers. They got all the Avengers in there, which is super cool. And, of course, the mighty Carrie Fisher. Makes your heart sink, right? Makes your heart sink. Gone too soon, everybody. Gone too soon. An incredible beacon of light in the world. Johnny Depp here. Now, a lot of these are my wife taking photos. And for some reason, my daughter wanted to find The Rock. Wanted to find Dwayne Johnson. I don't know. And the funny thing is, while we were walking through the stars, and I said this last time, but I would say, oh, do you know this person? She's like, no. Do you know that person? No. It's not like she's totally into stars. She doesn't know all the stars until we finally got over here. And then she's like, oh, I know Dwayne Johnson. That's who I was looking for. And, oh, the Avengers. I know the Adventures and whatnot. You look for Dwayne Johnson too, Ems? Yeah, there you go. So one of the things that this is supposed to represent, everybody, is that people that are no different than you went on to be stars. And you could too. Basically, it's supposed to be for inspiration. So you can put your hands down there and compare your hands to their hands and so on. And that's what my daughter's doing right there, which is pretty cool. By the way, over there next to him is Jackie Chan too, over there. And of course, they have a Wonka thing there where they have this Wonka store. Of course, the Mighty Betty White there. Then my wife takes a lot of these photos of artwork because she's an artist as well. So very beautifully done, everybody. Wonderful artwork there. And then, of course, way up there on the top, we're going to go there, everybody. That's the Griffith Observatory. So after we went to the to Hollywood Walk of Fame, and after I backed into another car and caused an accident and crushed the back of my car, my rental car, I think I did it there. I looked at it. I didn't see that it was damaged. I backed up, and the guy goes, "You got plenty of room." And then I bam, and I backed into this truck. And I'm like, "Here, I'll give you my license information. I'll give you my rental information. If you need to contact me, go ahead and contact me, and we'll deal with it." And whatnot, but I didn't see any damage. It's just the two bumpers bumped together, I thought, but it wasn't. It was the corner of my car bumped into the trailer hitch of the other car, and it pushed in the corner of my car and actually did damage to it. But that's why you get the rental insurance, everybody, because I just returned it. I told them that was a problem. I said, I'm not sure if it was there or if I was in a parking garage or where. And they said, no problem. You got the insurance. See you later. Am I all right? Bye. And then I was out of there. So always get that insurance, everybody. Absolutely, because it makes it easy. Now, here we are right here, Griffith Observatory, walking around. I have actually, even though I've lived in California for 30 years before I moved to East Tennessee, I have never been there because it's quite the journey, everybody. You got to go up the windy road all the way up to the top, and then we got all the way to the top, and it was parking lot was full, and then we had to wind our way all the way down, and we parked in this dirt parking lot, and we had to wait for this bus for like an hour, and then because that's sending us behind too, because we had to, because I didn't realize it was going to be so incredibly packed there. And then we took that bus up finally, and then we wandered around the Griffith Observatory. So it's like all these adventures that are happening in between all of these things as well. And I go on and on about all of those. But from the Griffith Observatory, you can see the Hollywood sign. Now, it looks awesome from over here, everybody. But if you actually get up close to the Hollywood sign, for many years it was deteriorating. And then they finally fixed it up, I noticed in this trip. And then, of course, look at this beautiful shot of L.A. Now, L.A. is one of those cities, everybody, that just goes on and on and on. And it's just like a whole, like, grid city. It's one of the first grid cities in the world where it's in perfect grid. So it's a perfect square. A lot of places, which I'm sure a lot of you have traveled, where the roads are going like this, and they're windy roads and all of those. And California is very much like, not like that. It's like straight road. You could go down one road, and you go down that road for 8 hours if you wanted to. Like Lincoln is one of those roads. You could just drive for 8 hours on that road, never reach the end of it. I used to do that when I was young, when I first got a car and whatnot, and I had a little money from working. I would get in my car, and I'd say, where does this road go? And I just drive that road until that road ended, which is very dangerous if you think about it, everybody. In LA, it's kind of dangerous. If you go the wrong way or down the wrong road, you're in trouble. So look out. But yeah, this is 9 million people that live right here in this spot, in that one spot right there. 9 million people. It's the largest, second largest city in the world, or second largest city in the U.S., and also the largest populated state is California, because the weather, it's always like 65 to 80 degrees. It's always like that year round. So you always got great weather, except for it's not as great as Hawaii weather. Hawaii weather, way better. You know, there's never been below 55 degrees in record history in Hawaii. Never been below 55. Not once. Pretty crazy. All right, again, the observatory telescope there, which is pretty cool. And another great shot of Los Angeles there. Just absolutely massive. You can see the big old, this is downtown LA. You can see the big buildings there. A lot of those big buildings down there. And you get in the middle of it and you're just dwarfed by how huge those look. It doesn't look that big there. But when you're standing there, those things are 50 stories high. It's crazy. Crazy awesome. Beautiful mural on the top of the Griffith Observatory right when you come inside. Another shot there. Beautiful kind of mosaic painting here of the Hollywood sign. You got Griffith Observatory down here, and then you got LA in the background. Little stuff when we're talking, you know, of course you're in the observatory, so they're talking about, you know, the planets and all of that kind of cool stuff. My daughter's sitting there with Albert Einstein. Then we went from the Griffith Observatory and we went over to what's known as Westwood, which is a place where me and my wife live. It's right next to Bel Air. It's a fancy area of Los Angeles, where the nicer area, at least it used to be. But as when I lived there, it was wonderful. And then you come back and then you see it's run down. A lot of businesses are out of business. You've got, it's dirty, it's grimy. It's not as wonderful as it once was. And of course, you also have a romantic remembering of it, right, when you were younger. But it definitely is run down. But we went to the first place in which I went and had a pizookie. Now, these pizookis here are my favorite dessert. They're a chocolate chip cookie or whatever kind of cookie you want. Like one of my daughters got cinnamon there. And while we were there, some random people who were behind us actually bought our dinner for us. They actually bought our dinner for us. I had to pay for the pizookies, but they bought our dinner for us. So I basically got a card while I was there. I said, hey, give me a gift card and I'll give it out on stream. And actually, Ro won that gift card, by the way, here in the stream. He's going to get that with his HTC Vive as well when I get around to doing it. When my arm fills up to the challenge, it hurts a lot today. It's hurting right there, big time. I pulled my arm again when I was surfing, so I didn't realize it until a couple weeks later. It started hurting big time. So yeah. So yes, and this is actually another what do you call it? Theater that me and my wife used to go to. It used to be called the Crest. And up in one of the coolest things is a little tiny theater. It's an old school theater where the curtains kind of open and then it does the picture. But on the ceiling, they had painted like the stars and sky up above. And then it had like a little shooting meteor that would come up when the movie would start. It was so cool. It had like all this stuff. It was all black light up there with all these paintings. Me and my wife went to that. We've seen like just about every movie there because we love the Crest. But then they changed it to the Nimoy Theater after obviously Leonard Nimoy. And they were reworking it because I wanted to take my daughters there to watch whatever movie was there. But sadly, it was closed. It was closed that time. But great, cool theater. Definitely recommend it big time. And then, of course, we went to Venice Beach after that. And Venice Beach smells like weed. Just to be real honest, everybody. It is so overwhelming when you go down there. And it's kind of run down. It's, you got homeless people all over the place. They got a cool skate park there, though. That's pretty cool. And basically, it's, most of these places went out of business because of, COVID and all of that. But normally you would walk up and down the Broward Walk and all sorts of craziness would be going on. You'd have street vendors, you'd have people juggling stuff, people playing guitar and, having a good old time. And it's really, if you want to be with the throngs of humanity, you want to go to Venice Beach. Me and my wife used to go to it all the time when we were young because it's just, you're people watching. People are doing all sorts of wild stuff. And you're walking up and down the beach and whatnot. The beach is directly behind us, by the way, on the other side over here. But I thought I'd get a shot of my kids enjoying that. And, of course, then we went to Santa Monica, which was absolutely packed. As you can see over there on the right, it is just absolutely packed with people all the way down. I can see all the people. This is the parking, everybody. This is just people coming into the parking here, and then the parking structure back here, which is just nuts. And then, of course, an incredible shot. I love this shot, everybody, of just the throngs of people that are in there. Let me zoom in on that a little bit so you guys can see the absolute. Those are all people down there, everybody. This is all people as far as you can see down in there. And I thought I'd give my daughters the full experience. We went on a Saturday night. And I was trying to get there before nighttime because, after nighttime, that's when all the crazies come out usually. Well, the crazies are out during the day, too, in Los Angeles. But most of the time, the extra crazies come out at nighttime. And so basically what I wanted to do was, to go down there, go to Venice Beach, and then go to Santa Monica Beach. And then when it got dark, then head back and eat. But we were running behind because of all of this. Had to, park at the Griffith Observatory and did all this other stuff that just made it take longer and longer and longer. And we lost an hour here and an hour there and an hour there and just kept getting further and further behind to the point in which we ended up being there at nighttime. And again, I told the story last time, but I was trying to find parking. And I was right here at the parking structure, which is just off to the side here. Off that way. And we drove by and it was $15 to park. And I'm like, screw it. We'll just pay $15. So I drove around, I come back around. And by the time I drove back around, which was 3 minutes to get around the other side, it was $20. They'd raised it by $5 right as I was driving around. So that's like, screw it, I'll pay $20. So I go down in there, and by the way, that's like $20 for like an hour of parking. So I drove down in there, and then I went in there, and it was madness in there, everybody. It was scary. It was everybody coming in and out, hundreds of thongs of people going in and out everywhere. And of course, as you can see here, this is like a nonstop stream of people that are just streaming down to the pier at that point. And you got people streaming in over there on the side, and everybody's just coming down for Saturday night at the pier. Just absolutely insanity down there. They have a carousel right there. And these are my daughters. We thought, screw it, we'll go into the arcade. And my daughters played air hockey. I love air hockey. I'm an air hockey king. Now, while we're doing this, everybody, it is absolutely packed in there, and a lot of these people are super sketchy. Super sketchy in there, and I'm just the whole entire time I'm watching where all my girls are. You're watching like my daughter's holding onto her bag just in case someone steals it. And it's just like an absolute sea of humanity. Everybody from every different walk of life in there. You don't know what's going on, right? You don't know if people are there nefariously or if they're just there to have fun. I usually opt for the have fun part, but I'm also very curious and very cautious of people who look like they're up to something, right? Because I grew up around those people who are sketchy like that. I'm not sketchy, but they were very sketchy. They're always got some scam going or angle, or they don't have any ethical limits, right? So they'll steal, they'll lie, they'll cheat, they'll do all of that stuff. I had a limit, everybody. There's a line that I wouldn't cross, and that's lying, cheating, stealing. I don't cross that line. I don't bother to. There's plenty of terrible people out there. They don't need any more. And there we go. And also, where we were staying in California, everybody, I just like to point out that there is no floor 13, which is funny because we were on floor 14, which means in theory we were on floor 13. And I talked to the lady in the front, and I said, hey, I'm doing a trip and whatnot for my stream and whatnot. I said, if you got a great room or whatnot, that would be awesome. And she's like, yeah, I'll put you up on the top floor. So she did. It was very nice of her to do that. This is at the Marriott Suites in California. Very, very cool. Now, of course, after that, we went to the Getty. This is a bunch of pictures from my wife and kids of various different flowers at the Getty. Thought I'd just give you a little sample of that. They took a lot more than that, by the way. And of course, the Getty is a beautiful building, absolutely beautiful. There's actually multiple buildings over here, as you can see. Just love the architecture of the Getty as well. Now, the Getty is a museum, and if you see a lot of that stuff on probably when you Google search, you'll see Getty images. Well, this is actually the Getty Museum itself. And outside, they have this botanical forest, which is beautiful, and a little thing, which is neat. I like this kind of thing where it kind of goes down in steps and then you're in the water, goes up, and there's a little waterfall at the end. Very cool. Ever present, never twice the same. Ever changing, never less than whole. Which is pretty cool. Robert Irwin there. Beautiful trees there as well, and you get the whole gist of it. This is a beautiful thing that they did down here. I don't know what that symbol means, everybody, but it's pretty cool, I think. And then we walk, all of the plants are down here, and you kind of walk down in this lower area. My wife takes beautiful photos, everybody. She's got quite the eye for photos as well. I just kind of giving you guys a sample of all the different stuff. I love the roses. The roses are huge, everybody. Like massive, massive roses there. Lots of beautiful flowers. That's my shot right there. Beautiful pink roses there. This is a Van Gogh that we saw out there. Now, some of these are going to be the same as last time, everybody, but I mixed in a ton more. But this is a Van Gogh called Irises. That's probably worth, I don't know, 50, 100 million, I don't know, right there. And they were watching it like a hawk, and people get really close to it because, you can't replace it, everybody. It's not like you just make another one. Very scary. I would have put a photo representative of it up there, but you can see that it was the original by the frame and then by the aging of the painting, which is pretty crazy. One of my twins here, who's actually a really great artist, by the way. Then after that, after we went to the Getty, we actually changed clothes at the Getty so we could go to the fancy lorries here which is about $500 to eat there, everybody. I'm not kidding. It was like $500 for 5 people to eat there. So it's like $100 per person to eat there. It's my wife's favorite restaurant in the world. It's so awesome. It's prime rib, whatnot. And then, of course, they served us desserts. And, of course, I got coconut cream pie there. And then for my birthday, they brought me out a little birthday cake right there. Very nice of them to do so. Right there. It's worth $54 million. Well, there you go, Flux. You're the know-it-all. You know what it is. We don't have room 13 in the care home. I work, you have 12A instead. Well, there you go. It snows in Hawaii. Well, I don't know where it's snowing at. You go find that out. Now, of course, we also were visiting Disneyland on the 100th anniversary of Disneyland, which is pretty cool. Of course, we went into Pirates Caribbean. If you go in, everybody, you have that little Fast Pass thing, do all the things that you don't have the Fast Pass thing for first. Get there right when it opens and go straight to the Pirates of Caribbean. Because this way you go straight to Pirates Caribbean and then get that done before the line becomes 4 hours long. Because between 8 o'clock and 10 o'clock, you're going to get the most rides in. And then after 10 o'clock, it just gets absolutely packed. And we were there on a Monday. Yeah, on a Monday, they start becoming 4 hours long. Because it's summertime. But it's just absolutely packed full of people after 10 p.m. or 10 a.m. Sorry, 10 a.m. It's absolutely packed. So we got there around 8:30 because the lady at the front desk said it was only a 10-minute walk when it was really like a 35-minute walk. It was like 12 miles that I had to walk, and I was trying to get there by 8 so I could get the passes because sometimes they sell out of those little genie passes. So I did get there in time, though, to get those genie passes, and then we could bypass a lot of the line. And some of those lines were like 4 hours long, and we would schedule it like, 30 minutes from now, and then we go do something else, and then we come back, and bam, we could walk straight in. Right in. It was awesome. Those genie passes, totally worth it, everybody. Totally worth it. There's my daughters in front of It's a Small World, and then we were on the ride. There I am with my hat. Having a good time on It's Small World. We went on it for this one here. She wanted to do that because we also went to the Haunted Mansion right after going to the Pirates of the Caribbean because, again, we had a Fast Pass right in, and we got that one done as well. This one does not like scary stuff. The one in the middle in the back there loves the scary stuff. So there you go. And, of course, in front of the thing, whatever that is, castle. There we go, brain. And they're also riding Dumbo. We waited for an hour, by the way, so they could go ride on Dumbo. And somebody was trying to cut in front of them. And she had got in the one that she was supposed to do. And she just walked onto the ride and acted like she was supposed to be there. And she got in where my daughter was supposed to get. And she's like, I don't think you're supposed to be here. I was supposed to be in here. And the lady's like, fine. And then left. And she tried to cut in line. Scary. Scary, crazy people. Now, this is also the Star Wars part of it. They added all of this. I've never been to this before. They added this years ago. But as you can see, a full-scale replica of the Millennium Falcon. So very, very cool. You can't actually go inside there, sadly. But they have a great simulator over there that we did where my kids were driving. My wife and other daughter, they were shooting, and I was being the engineer, which is like the easiest job. I just press any buttons that light up. That's all I did the whole time. We also went on the carousel, obviously. My daughter's having fun on the teacups. Now, normally I go on the teacups and I make that thing spin so incredibly fast. My wife hates it, by the way. But I make it spin really, really fast. But I thought, well, you know what? I'll just let my kids go on and let them have some fun. And they actually limit it now. And it's probably my fault. So it's my fault, everybody. You can't go super fast on those anymore. Because they're trying to spin it as fast as they can. They said, Daddy wouldn't let us go any faster. And I'm like, oh, they probably limited it now as well. There we go. And then, of course, we had these cool floats going by right at the time. I timed it perfectly where we could stand there and watch the parade go by while they were on the teacups, which is pretty cool. And then they came around and stood there and we watched the rest of the parade that went by as well. Now, all of this, by the way, is me just blasting this on the credit card. This is like $1,000 to go to Disneyland plus another $200-300 because of the fast passes. So this is like $1,200 for a single day at Disneyland, which is nutty, everybody. But, put on the credit card, figure out how to pay for it later kind of thing. Great shot of dust there with the castle in the background. And this is right before the fireworks are about to go off. And you can see the sea of humanity that we're standing in there. Now, of course, I'm very much, I'm a little germophobic, everybody. I don't like to be around right up next to people. as well as, there's still COVID, there's still all of those things, but sometimes you just go for it, everybody. So that's what I did. Just went for it. And I actually didn't get sick, amazingly. My wife got sick. She got a sinus infection, but I amazingly did not get sick at all. And then, of course, there's the fireworks starting up. Get this to move up. Zoom in a little bit. There we go. Right behind. We had, I don't think I've ever stood on this side. I've stood on the other side before. I've stood way back at the entrance. I've also seen it from my house as a kid. This is what I grew up with as a kid, everybody. I could just walk out to the edge of where I lived as a kid in the Anaheim area, and then I could just watch the fireworks go off at Disneyland. I've seen them hundreds and hundreds of times. And after a while, fireworks are just like, okay, it's fireworks. It's not as exciting as it was the first few times. You know how it goes. Then at the end, everybody, we closed Disneyland down. I mean, we were there till midnight. We got there at 8:30 in the morning, went there all the way to midnight. We did every single thing we could possibly think of in there that was working. And then that was it. It was, we were out of there, and Mickey and Minnie put out a little show at the end before the park completely closes. And a bunch of people were sitting there waiting for, whatever. And so we watched Mickey and Minnie, and Pluto was over there. Also, after that, we were exhausted, so we took a day to rest. My daughter's in the heated pool, by the way, at the Marriott. Very cool. Marriott Suites, there it is. That's where we stayed. Beautiful, beautiful hotel, by the way, at a great spot. And we also went to downtown Disney down here. Now, a lot of times we are just trying to jam as much as we can into the trip. And so we're racing over here. We're trying to figure out where to park. We're trying to figure out where to go and how to get where we're going. A lot of the trip is that, just trying to figure stuff out, figure out the logistics of what we're doing and how to get there and find a parking spot and all of that. Look at this awesome Lego thing here, everybody. Beauty and the Beast, all made out of Legos. If you guys can't see that, I'll zoom in on it. And you can see those are actual Legos there. Just so awesome. Incredibly amazing with that stuff. And this is outside the Lego store. They have a Lego store that you can go in there and have tons of different Legos, different sets. You can make your own little Lego guys, which my daughters did. They made their own custom Lego guys. There's a larger shot of it there. Now, I'm sitting over here because I went in there and it was just way too packed for me. So I went over here and sat over here and took a shot for you guys. You also got Woody and Buzz up here on the side. You got this guy who's on his horse doing his thing there. And there's a whole bunch more inside, too, which is really cool if you're into Legos. Can I build that on stream? No. And then I saw this wild thing, everybody, the North Star and the moon right next to each other, right when I was sitting there. I was like, oh, wow, well, that's cool. They also had pin trading over there, too. They had a bunch of pins right next to me over there where you can get a bunch of Disney pins and whatnot. Pretty cool. And then, of course, we were there again for the 100 Years of Wonder. My daughter's sitting in front of it there. And then we're out of there, everybody. We're flying to Honolulu. We're out of there. So this is one of the things you have when you're on the plane. You can see it in your little thing that's on the dash or on the seat of the person in front of you. And it tells you how long you've got. And here we are basically in the middle of the ocean, everybody. We are in the middle of the ocean right there. Very scary, but it worked out just fine. And this is me driving a Tesla, everybody. You're like, Kismet, you're rich. Nope, not at all. This is me putting it on the credit card, and I thought, well, I rent a Tesla so my kids could, get a Tesla going on. It's actually incredibly awkward to drive, just so you know. It's awkward to drive. It's awkward to use because you're so used to a conventional car that first, when you're driving the car, it auto brakes. So when you're pressing the gas pedal, it'll go, and then when you let go to a certain point, it'll start braking automatically. So you don't take your foot off and press the brake. You just use the gas pedal. That's it. And then, of course, if you actually come to a stop, then you use the brake, obviously. But most of the time, you're just using that one pedal to either go further, faster. And when you first start it, you're going like this the whole time because you don't know what the point is in which it starts to brake. And then I've realized that up here on the panel, right here, this little line here is telling you whether you're going forward, which you can see here I'm accelerating forward. I'm going 54 right there, and it actually tells you what the speed limit is, which is 45, which I didn't figure out until right about that moment. That's the moment in which I figured out, wow, this thing goes really fast. Now, I am barely pressing on the pedal, by the way. I am barely pressing on the pedal, and it's going 54 miles an hour. Normally on a gas car, you got to press it fairly good to get it going. But on here, I'm barely pressing it, and I'm trying to get that speed down so I can stay within the speed limit, obviously. Because in Hawaii, there's a saying. It's called Hawaii time. We get there when we get there kind of thing, right? If you are rushing, it's like a red alert to these people. It's like a red alert. Oh, God, I'm rushing from here to there and all over the place. And because everybody's very mellow, it's very, take your time, enjoy your time, that kind of thing. So, yeah, I actually got called out in the hotel because I was running back and forth trying to get all the luggage and stuff out of there when we finally left. So this is a Tesla. Again, I rented it, everybody. This ain't my Tesla, and I don't have a Tesla, everybody. In fact, I actually own 3 cars, but I don't actually have a car that's my car. I actually sold my other car I had for many years, and all the other cars are for my kids and for my wife. I don't even drive anywhere. I usually use their car, or they'll drive me wherever, because I should not really be driving, everybody. And I was driving in L.A. hours upon hours, back and forth and back and forth. My wife does not like to drive in L.A. because everybody's nuts. But I am doing all the driving, which was a giant undertaking. But when you're dizzy all the time and you're driving at the same time, believe me, it is incredibly difficult to do. Now, this looks like a freeway here, everybody, but we're about to go into that tunnel, and this tunnel actually goes under this mountain. It goes through the mountain a long ways. So if you look on the little thing right here, it's actually from here all the way over to here. So you're actually going through that tunnel for a really long way, or very long way there in there. So my daughter caught a shot of the tunnel before we went in there. One of the fun things I like to do in tunnels, everybody, I like to honk the horn so it echoes. That's just me. That's just me and my silliness. Oh, there's another shot going to Honolulu. Now, when you're there, everybody, it is so lush that it looks unreal. It is totally unreal for sure. You love one-pedal driving? Oh, well, there you go. It takes a while to get used to, but actually by the end of the trip, I actually started really liking it. And then when I came back and I was trying to drive a normal car, I was really screwed up because you're just expecting to use the gas, and then the gas is very different. Instead of just barely pushing it down, you have to push it down much harder. And then, of course, you got to take your foot off to brake, right? Because otherwise you're going to die. And you have to get back into the habit of taking your foot off and braking and gas pedal. But single pedal driving, and because it's also regenerative braking, so when you put that braking on, what it does also gives power back to the vehicle. So you can actually regenerate some of the power while you're driving. So very, very useful. There we go. Oh, hey, TDK in the chat, everybody. Show up some love in the chat. What up, TDK? Thanks for coming in and hanging out. It feels safer to you? It does after a while, but it definitely takes a little getting used to. And you have to get used to the power of that Tesla, everybody. It's not like a normal car. I mean, when you press that pedal, you'll be at 100 miles an hour in a few seconds, everybody. It'll go very, very fast. And you don't really feel it, too, because you don't hear the roar of the engine. You don't hear the... It's just like all of a sudden you're just going 100. It's wild. It's wild. So while we were driving, everybody, we're taking some photos of how incredibly lush it is. Beautiful shots as we're just kind of driving up. Now, what happens is you go on this freeway, and the freeway is like 2 lanes wide, everybody, sometimes 3. But in California, the freeways are 6 lanes on both sides. So it's like 12 lanes wide, right? So here it's like, okay, cool, I'll take the freeway all the way up, right? Nope. So at this point right here, the lane becomes a 2-lane. And it's like a residential road that goes all the way around the top of it. And I'll go back so you guys can see that on the little thing here. And so we went down here, we transitioned. And then by the time you get over here, everybody, it goes through here, and then it becomes a 2-lane road, like a little country road that you're driving on. And that's why it takes an hour to drive from down here, which is where the airport is, to way up to the North Shore up there as well. But it's beautiful up there, as you can see by these photos over here. Right here. And it's so lush that it looks like greener than green, everybody. It shouldn't be that green, right? Like you see green, like the green grass and whatnot, but when you go to Hawaii, it's a whole different thing, whole different level. You can see all the beautiful, and we're driving along the coast the whole time. So a lot of great shots of the coast. Man, again, my wife is great at framing. She got the tree in there with the people in there. Just so great at framing photos. Amazing. And as we're going along, and of course, a bunch of shots, of course, as we saw, of course, their native flower in Hawaii. I forget what the name of that flower is, but you're supposed to take one and put it behind a different ear. Depending on which ear you put it in, I forget. They actually said it while we were there. One is like you're taken, you're married, and one is like you're available. Something like that. And Hawaii is very true. Hawaii is my happy place. That's where I hope to retire or spread my ashes when I'm older. Hopefully, very long time from now on the ashes part. Then, of course, when we checked in the hotel, also stayed at the Marriott in Hawaii in the North Shore. And they left us a bunch of macadamia nuts and a bunch of other stuff that we shared with my kids and whatnot. And we were right there on the beach, too. So we could just walk down the beach. Oh, this is me. Now, this is something you should always do, everybody. Now, this isn't for me to show off that I have a Tesla. This is for me to double check that if the car has any damage, I won't get charged for it after it's done, right? So one of the things you should do with a rental car is take a video of the car all the way around. So if you see something, and I actually saw something, I think here in the back. Yeah, see this little dent here in the back? This way you can say, look, that dent was already there before I rented the car. So if they try to pull that on you, you can say, nah, I took a video of the thing. So it's best to take a video, or if you don't have a video camera, or which I don't know why you wouldn't, because you probably got a phone. But you can just take photos of it. Always do that before you take the car, everybody. Always a smart idea. So that's what I was doing there. I was just taking a video of the car as I'm walking around, and everybody's in there waiting for me. And they're like, why are you taking a video of the car? See, my kids don't understand all of these little things that I've learned in my life. They think I've just been sitting inside my whole life or something. I had a whole life before they were born. In fact, I've lived 3 of their lives already. At least my youngest daughters, who are 15. So it'd be 15, 30, 45, and actually 4 of their lifetimes before they even existed. Or 3 of their lifetimes before they existed. But yeah, another beautiful shot. This is where we could walk right out of our hotel and then right down to the beach here, and we watch the sunrise. A great, fantastic shot. This was just at the beach. My daughter was just chilling out there, enjoying that cool swing that someone put there. Very cool. Look at the ocean, everybody. Now, the wildest thing, and you can see it right here, the wildest thing in Hawaii is that the ocean is like bathwater. You can literally walk out there and look and see the fish in the thing. You can just look right down in the water. You don't need to, see, the thing in California is it's blue, but then it's murky. It's kicking up a lot of soot and soil or whatnot, or sand into the water. And the water's much colder in California. In the East Coast, of course, you got the Atlantic Ocean. It's very green, and it's also just absolutely the dirtiest water you've ever been in. And of course, there's also jellyfish in there and all sorts of other crazy animals on the East Coast. But I've been to all of them. And I can tell you Hawaii's the best because the water is warmer and it's like bath water. It's incredible. It's pretty amazing. There you go. Did the country road take you home? It took me where I would like it to be home. There you go. It feels safer. Yeah, that one pedal as well. So again, my daughter's taking all sorts of cool photos, and my wife here, a little bird running along the beach. Look at this, everybody. I don't know. If you're not awed by that, I don't know. There's something wrong with you, brother. There's something wrong with you if you're not awed by that. Just sheer amazing sight there. I don't know. That's kind of stuff just, I just stand there and look at that all day long. That stuff makes you feel small, but also makes you appreciate how big the world is. And then, of course, we're hanging out here. My daughter's all got the thing going on. My wife as well. And of course, we're going on. Look how lush the green is, everybody. That's not photo touch. That's not Photoshop right there, everybody. That's crazy green. And again, it looks unreal. Beautiful tree there. Various different photos, like a cat on the side of the road. And then here we are at the Turtle Bay Resort, everybody. Now, this is in the North Shore. And this is where we went surfing. You can see all these surfboards down there as well. And there I am, everybody. Look at this old man. Look at that belly on that guy. Look at that belly on that guy right there, everybody. I've got about 30 or 40 extra pounds, and I'm still going to go out and go surfing. Now, I have lost 50 pounds. So I used to be 230 pounds. I'm about 180 pounds right there. And I'm still 180 pounds right now. Actually, I think I'm a little 185 pounds because I've been eating tons of food, as you saw in there. But still, at 53, everybody, I still try to prove something to my daughters. And this is really for my daughters, everybody, not for me. I know I'm not strong enough, I'm not young enough, and I'm not in shape enough to really surf at the level I did when I was young. When you're young, you have low center of gravity, you're lean, and you are stronger than you would be at age 53. But I still got out there and I got in the waves. And we went out there and went surfing. So this is me telling the guy to get the money shot of me standing up on the thing. And then that's me getting in the water, everybody. I'm actually getting in the water there. Now, we have a whole bunch of other photos that will come back and we'll run through, and there might be duplicates of some of these, but we're going to run through all of the surf photos at the end. There I am paddling out, everybody. And I paddle about halfway out, and I realize I'm in trouble, right? And while I was standing here, by the way, I'm standing there thinking, am I going to come back from this? Because you got to think, I'm dizzy right there. I'm like really dizzy. I'm like really dizzy. My back hurts. I'm in pain. I have a constant problem with sleeping and insomnia. So I really haven't slept well. And yet I'm still going out there anyway, because you got to, everybody, you got to do it. You got to just convince yourself not to go the easy route and say, I'm just going to watch my kids go and do it. I'm just going to do the thing. But you got to go and try. Otherwise, you'll never prove to yourself that you can still do it. You never prove to yourself that it can be done. And that's what I want to prove to my daughters, that they can do anything if they so desired. Another great shot. And, of course, my wife is taking a bunch of shots of us out there. Look at us out there. Now, this is a great example of what the waves look like. And they're not too bad, right? You got little waves here. And these start getting really big after a while. They probably got double high here toward the end, and they were just whamming us after about an hour and a half. Now, these waves are supposed to be like this, right? This is what Turtle Beach is known for these little small waves, and you can learn to do the waves. But we were also there and started getting choppy. And by the way, here's my daughter, very first try. First try, already up, surfing right on the first try. She's incredibly exceptional, by the way. This is me out here somewhere. I think I'm right here. Try to get out there and go surfing. I don't know where I am in there. Maybe I'm not out there yet. Yeah, I don't think I'm out there yet. But yeah, that's my oldest daughter just crushing it on the first wave. Absolutely incredible. And then again, my wife's sitting on the beach because she's not going to do it, everybody. She's definitely not going to do it. And then we're out in the water there. And again, the waves are small to start. This is how they started as well. And then there's my daughter going back in. Oh, there's me. That's me right there, everybody. Look at me on the wave. And I'm waiting for the wave to try to get going. And then I'm going to stand up and then immediately fall off. And you can see over here they have this buoy. And everybody kind of holds on to the buoy. And then while the waves are hitting you, it doesn't make you go back into the ocean, right? Because there's like different lines of waves. There's like the smaller waves up front, and they get bigger and bigger the further you go out. There's like 5 lines of waves. So you can go out and do the bigger waves if you want, or you can do the smaller waves if you're up in front. And again, that's how it started. Then my daughter coming back in, she's like, whoa, what's going on? I thought this was a funny photo. And there's look at that. She just had the greatest time. Right? This is what you want as a parent. You want this look from your kids after they went surfing. And she just absolutely loved it. She crushed it, but she also got slammed. And you're not is that a dog on a surfboard? Yes, that actually, they were out there surfing with their dog. I forgot to mention that. Yes, they were. And one of the things is, everybody, is that, you want for your kids everything, right? You want them to go and have a bunch of different experiences and experience all sorts of things in the world. And this is the moment that I knew it was all worth it, right? And this is, you got to think of the logistics and the running through the airport and, doing your tickets and, airplane tickets and doing your luggage and, going to LA and then driving all over LA and the traffic. And, you got all of these downsides that lead all the way to this one moment right here. And that's what made it worth it when your kids are just having a great time. And she was so excited that she was able to do it, because I didn't know if I was going to be able to do it, and they certainly never surfed before. This was their first time surfing ever, and those instructors were awesome. Seven and Chris, they were amazing. By the way, these are some of Jamie O'Brien's signature boards over here, where he's won like contests and stuff from. So pretty awesome. That's where we went to Jamie O'Brien's surf experience and just had the greatest time. All the people there were awesome, amazing. Then after that, now that was on my birthday, everybody. On my 53rd birthday, we surfed in the morning, and we got more surf photos. I'll show you it later. And then we went to the Culture Center here, over here, the Polynesian Culture Center, which is right next to the hotel, by the way. And someone told me at the hotel, you should go to the Polynesian Culture Center, because not only is it awesome, but also it actually contributes toward people who live in Hawaii to their college fund, and for them to go to college and all of that. And I said, oh yeah, I definitely want to be part of that. And this was $1,200 as well. Everything I'm doing here is like $1,000 and $1,200 and another $1,000, another $1,000. And that's why I spent like $15,000, $20,000 on this trip. And I raised $3,500. and I spent 20,000. That math does not work out, everybody. But, in life, you go and do it. And again, I just raise funds for just the part that I think is part of the stream, which is the One Last Wave project. And then, of course, all this other stuff is just kind of beyond that. So, yeah, we went to Polynesian Cultural Center, and we actually rode on a canoe, which is pretty fun. So here we are on the canoe. You can see there's another one in front of us there. And they're telling all sorts of stories, and they're being super funny. These guys were awesome, by the way. They were saying all sorts of funny stories as you're going on. Reminds me very much of the Jungle Cruise, where they're making funny jokes while you're going along. Like, look, it's the backside of water. They weren't doing those kind of jokes, but they were doing funny stuff. They were actually much funnier than the Jungle Cruise, by the way. Give them credit. Now, here's us getting a tattoo, everybody. I say we go all in. Look at this, family tattoo right there. You're like, Kismet, what? You got a tattoo? I sure did, right here. You're like, well, Kismet, where's it at? It's a temporary tattoo, everybody. I ain't getting no tattoo. That's too painful for me. But my wife wouldn't do it. My wife, is a kind of a killjoy sometimes. She won't go surfing. She won't go do all the stuff. She won't get tattoos. She won't do all that stuff. And me and my kids, we are the wild ones. We'll go do whatever. We'll go get the most out of it. And have a great time. Look, I'm wearing my surf hat I just got earlier that day, everybody. This is the only hat I've ever gotten. I got it right here. This is the only hat I've ever picked up because I have a big fat head, everybody. I'm just going to tell you. The only hat I've ever put up, and it went right on my head. I picked it up, and it fit me instantly, and I'm like, that's my hat. And I very rarely wear hats, but, kind of thinning out up here, everybody. I'm thinning out up there on the top. And I don't, my hair is not tied to my ego. I don't need to get a hair transplant or whatnot. When it's gone too much, I'll just shave it. I don't care. A lot of women like shaved, like bald men. It's sexy. It's all about how you present yourself, everybody. So yeah, my kids are having a great time. We're going to all the different areas. Now at the Polynesian Center, what they have is they have a bunch of stuff from Polynesia, right? Which is part of Samoa, Hawaii, obviously, and a whole bunch of other places. I can't remember, Tahiti and so on. And so you go to the different areas, and each area is like, this is the Hawaii area, this is the Tahiti area, this is the Samoa area, and you're learning stuff from those various different cultures. And it is awesome. If you go to Hawaii, if you go to Oahu, definitely go to the North Shore and check out the Polynesian Center, because it helps Hawaiians get money for college, but also it's incredibly fun. You're watching people do all sorts of cool stuff. And of course, caution, falling coconuts. And they're not kidding, everybody. There's a bunch of coconuts on the top of that thing. They're actually growing right there. So look out. Oh, another shot of us out in the water. Right there. And you can see the the waves are getting bigger. Waves are getting bigger there. Yeah, that's what that's for. Yeah. You can see they're starting to get larger toward the end of our session because we're there for about an hour and a half. And they start getting bigger and bigger. And my arms start running out of steam, everybody. I just couldn't paddle myself back in again. I'm too big to paddle myself around. But hopefully one day, maybe when I'm 60, I'll go back and hopefully be in better shape. And that's what I'm working on right now, just getting in better shape, eating better, that kind of stuff. And it takes a long time when you're older. The older you get, the harder it is to get in shape because you're already overweight and you're already don't feel well and you might be depressed or you might be sad or something that is kind of holding you back from doing it. By the way, these are symbols for the different phases of the moon. Very cool little thing there. Cool artwork and stuff that we saw. I love the thing here. Very cool. Rooster, which was doing it. By the way, look at the rain. Look at the rain pouring down. So while we're there at the Polynesian Center, you can see people standing out of the rain there. It was just absolutely pouring down out of nowhere. And this is the way it is in Hawaii, everybody. It'll be just like beautiful, sunny, and then boom, a rain cloud will come in. It'll just be pouring down on you, and then it'll be fine. And then you go back to what you were doing, and then it will be pouring down again. And so that's what it was doing on and off the whole day on my birthday at the Polynesian Center. It was just doing one and the other. There's my wife going, "What the heck? What the heck?" And then I saw this little hut over the other side of where we were standing there, where it was raining, and they were making fish out of bamboo leaves. And so I went over there and sat down just so I could sit out of the rain so I didn't have to stand because, I'm old. I need to sit down every now and again after hours and hours. By the way, when I was at Disneyland, I walked 20,000 steps in a day. And then all of this stuff is like 10, 20,000 steps as well, walking around. Now, again, you got to think that I haven't walked all that much, but over the last 6 months before this, I was out walking every single day so I could build up my ability to walk more with my kids and with my wife. And that was a brilliant idea because it really did help me in there because I have back pain. You're overweight, so you're always kind of weighed down and it's hurting your back all the time, especially when you have a belly. When your belly is pulling you forward all the time and you're pushing yourself back, you're always using your back to try to keep yourself upright. So that's why it's good not to have one of those. There was a time in which I didn't. I was young and skinny like my girls here, for sure. But they're in there, and I had found that, so it was like a win for Daddy there. I found this cool thing, and they sat down and they started making their cool fish, and then it was on like a string. So you could take the fish and then go zoop, and it would string along the string and then be hanging at the end, and then you could hold the thing. It was awesome. It was one of those awesome moments over there because they wanted to just stand over there until the rain was done. I was like, I'm going to go sit over here in this hut. And so I did, and then I found this thing for them to do. By the way, here's her free hat from Jamie O'Brien's surf experience. I bought a bunch of shirts and stuff from there, and they gave us a free hat, so I gave it to my daughter, and then they gave me another free hat, and I gave it to my other daughter as well. She actually has another one like this as well. I appreciate those free gifts. And then, of course, at the Polynesian Center, they have this wonderful buffet. Everybody, let me zoom in on it. This lady's taking a picture of me taking a picture. I don't know. But they have this awesome buffet. You can see they got seafood there, chicken, steak, anything you could possibly think of. Veggies on this side. One of my daughters is vegetarian. So veggies over there. Now, this is like 1/4 of the size of this place, everybody. It is absolutely massive. And it not only was a great buffet, it was like the greatest buffet I've ever been to. Every single thing, because you go and sample in buffets to see what you like. Every single thing that I got was amazing. I was so incredibly stuffed when I got out of there. I had a bit of everything. It was so incredibly good. So highly recommend the Polynesian Center buffet too. I mean, just as a buffet just in itself. And of course, we had some lava cakes there, very tasty. And my wife went up. These guys were amazing here. What he's doing is he's using his iPad there to read stuff. So my daughters ran up here in the front, and they told the guy to wish, said, happy birthday. He turned 53 today, and all of that. So my daughters had done that for me. So it was very nice of them to do that for my birthday. And these guys were singing, and they were, taking requests and things. So really a big awesome. And he's like, so right when they were about to finish, my wife went up in front. I'm actually sitting right here. You can see my yellow shirt over here in the corner. I'm sitting right there where they're taking the photo. But right when he did it, he looked over and saw she was taking a picture. He's like, hey, picture. And then the guy leans in and they do the shakas right the last second when she takes the photo. Like perfect photo moment. So big love to these guys because they were phenomenal. But they were really good. Really gave the whole place a good vibe. Then right here, this is the originator of the shaka right here, everybody. He's actually was a car salesman, which I think is amazing. But he came up with the shaka, which means like love and peace to peeps. And that's the Polynesian Center there in the background. You go in there and there's whole different parts that you can do. You can just do the buffet if you want, or you can do the whole thing. We did the whole thing, went all over. Man, we spent all day doing that after surfing. I was already exhausted when I got there. And then we did that for like 8 hours. And then at the end, we saw a show. And I was like, hey, where's the, fire twirling? I thought this was going to be a fire twirling show. There's my daughter again crushing it on her first wave right there. She's just having the greatest time. There's Kismet up on the board, everybody. This lasted only a few seconds, but I'm up. There's the money shot right there. You won't know how incredibly hard that is, by the way, everybody. And when I was paddling out, I was thinking I might not survive this. I'm not kidding. I might not survive because I'm totally dizzy. I've been rushing all over to just get here on time. I'm nervous. I'm anxious, and my back is killing me right there. But I did it anyway. And proof in the pudding right there, everybody. I made it happen. And that is like, you got to think that's like, 10 years in the making, right? That's a lot of hard work of getting up every day and working a little bit on my health every single day. And this is what it's all about right here. This is what it's all about. Need a lot of rain to keep it green. That is true. Right there, rocking the shaka. This is 7 right here. Pretty awesome guy. reminds me of a lot. All my surfer friends I knew when I was young, just totally into surfing. Great guy. By the way, pro gamer right there. I think he said he played what was it? Valorant. Pro gamer. See, no matter where you are, you travel, 4,000 or 5,000 miles all the way to Hawaii, you can always find a fellow gamer right there, which is pretty funny. And he's like, "Oh wow, you're a gamer?" I was like, "I'm the original gamer. I'm the OG." Way back in the day. And I used to surf when I was young and all of that. And I'm like, watch me though, because if I start to go down the wrong way, because I don't know which way is up, because of my dizziness, so I don't know I can go down. But one of the things I learned, I learned very quickly, is to follow my leash, because I have a leash on that's tied to your leg in the back. You can actually see it right there. I have a leash there, so what I do is I follow that leash up to wherever the board is, because you fall off the board, you're in the water, then you got to come back out. So very scary, but made it happen. There's my daughter having a great time. Dude was towing me out, by the way. He's so strong. He was towing this guy out into the waves. And I'm trying to paddle, everybody, but I'm so weak. I got to do a lot of strength training to get strong enough to do that again. And it was kind of a bummer because I didn't realize how exhausted I was until I actually got on the water, because I've been doing all this other stuff before this, right? We've run all over the place, done all of these things, and I'm constantly in management mode and, problem solving mode. Okay, we got to do this, we got to do that, we got to go there. And the thing is, you're supposed to be on vacation, but because we're trying to pack so many things in, that you're not. You're really it's like work to pack it all in. And then you have little moments like this that are great. And again, there's my oldest daughter just absolutely crushing it again. First wave. There we are getting the shot. My, of course, incredibly crazy hair. My hair's always been like that, everybody. My whole entire life. It's like herding straw. It rarely ever goes my way there. But there we are, hanging out at the beach, getting a shot. And actually, that's us going in. Oh, here's the fire twirling. Here we go. I felt really bad for this guy, as you'll see. He kept dropping it. And that thing is hot. That's real fire, everybody. So this happened at the Polynesian Center. Now, again, we're going to jump around a little bit in some of these photos. But you can see he's just crushing it at some point. Just awesome. Too bad I can't zoom in on photos or on videos. But yeah, he's crushing it. See, I wish they'd turned it sideways. I hate it when people do vertical video like that. It drives me crazy. If you turn it sideways, then it'd be bigger and you guys can see what was going on. But you get the general gist of it. And that just happened randomly while we were walking along. That was right after it started raining. Beautiful shot of the palm trees. Mute that. Beautiful shot of the palm trees there. Just giving you that. And you can see the clouds are moving. Can you see the clouds moving? There's the background. I'll play it again. They're moving along the thing. Plus, they're also moving the camera a little bit, too. But the clouds are actually just kind of floating by. And this happens because you're on an island. And it's coming right off the ocean, right across the top of the island, and drops a bunch of rain on you over there. Again, beautiful. Look at the clouds with the sun going down there. And this is, of course, us the next day where we went and watched the sunrise. And then we got ready to go on a big adventure. There's the sun coming up. My daughter's standing there. Look at that. Isn't that amazing? Just the perspective of that. So beautiful, everybody. Beautiful. There I am standing there in my Hawaiian shorts, by the way. My famous Kismet Hawaiian shorts. These shorts right here, by the way, are 30 years old. Right there. Or 30. Well, no, not 30 years old. What is it? We got a back pedal. 24 years old. 24 years old, everybody. These are older than my kids by almost twice as much. I love those shorts, everybody. I only wear them on special occasions. By the way, one of my emotes, let's see that emote, everybody, of me going like this. That's me wearing them shorts. Right there. Some people are like, "Kid, I thought those were underwear." And I'm like, no, those are shorts from Hawaii. That's my aloha spirit, everybody. Right over there. Yeah, there you go. Ebbs has got it there. If you see that full emote, you can see that the bottom, I'm wearing them shorts in that emote as well. Look at this. Beautiful, everybody. Just beautiful, beautiful there in Hawaii. Little snail going along. My daughter got a shot of that. And then we went horseback riding, where this one here in the middle fell off the horse. She passed out, fell off the horse. This one was passing out. We got her off the horse and she sat down. She didn't actually pass out on the horse, but this one was watching that one, and this one fell off the side. She went completely out. She was out, and the horse took off, and she was just in the air and then fell and landed on the ground. And luckily did not get hurt. So very, very lucky on that one. But all the way up to that moment, the hour and 25 minutes, and it's an hour and a half long, everybody. The hour and 25 minutes was awesome. The guy was talking to me the whole time. We were talking games, guys all into Fallout and whatnot. But what he was trying to do, everybody, because I told him that I have a disability and that I'm dizzy and whatnot, is he was keeping my mind occupied so that I didn't get sick and didn't get too dizzy where I was going to pass out. And I didn't realize it till the very end when my daughters passed out from that thing, because it was very hot. We had gone surfing the day before. We had done the Polynesian Center the day before. We had gotten up early so we could go over here to the horseback riding. And we were the only ones that were causing trouble in there. So yeah, my other daughter did fine. My wife did fine. And I did fine, which is wild. But my other two daughters, they basically passed out, or this one almost passed out, and that one did pass out on the horse while she was up on the horse. And that's a long way to fall, everybody. But luckily, she was kind of off the side first, and then the horse took off, and she kind of fell about halfway. And she's fine, by the way. She's fine. Look at this cute little goat in the petting zoo. So they have a little petting zoo of the goats, which is really cute. Little baby goats. Little moo-moo doing his thing. Not a crazy moo-moo. But that's just a moo. That's not a moo-moo. See, Brahmins have two heads, so those would be moo-moos, and that would just be a moo. Look at this little baby here, everybody. Look at that little baby. It's so cute. So cute, little goat. And here's a great shot of me. I'm sitting on this horse, and I'm taking a shot of my wife and daughters there. And all these people in the back, these random other people that went with us, were shocked when my daughter fell off of there. And then they freaked out because they're like, oh my God, someone just got injured. We got to take care of it. And they drove my other daughter back in like a little vehicle. And then my other daughter here says like, hold on, I just need a minute. And she's like, all right, I'm ready to get back up there. And so she got back on the horse and we finished it off. It was only 5 more minutes down the way. We were literally just go down the way there. By the way, look at this shot with Hawaii in the background, the Hawaiian beach and the ocean. Just a perfect shot, everybody. It was a beautiful day up to this moment. And then right after this, they all fell off the horse, and that's the only thing that my wife will remember. She will remember all of the great moments up to that moment. Some people are like that. Speaking of beautiful waves coming in. Oh, let me, this one we want to hear some sound. Give me that Hawaii vibe right there, everybody. Okay, thing, go away. I can just stand there and listen to that all day long. Now, one of the cool things that's happening right here, everybody, and I'm going to mute that now, is that I'm watching the sunrise. Very few people watch the sunrise. They watch the sunset. But basically, I'm watching the sunrise here. Watch this. And then, of course, you can see the sparkles on the water appear on that sunrise. And that's my favorite part of the sunrise, is when that starts to shine along the water. And because it's only shining to about here, and then when it reaches a certain point, you'll see it go right across toward wherever you're standing, because you're looking at it from your perspective. And then you'll start to see the water shining. See, basically creates a little path from the thing. I think that's one of the great things in the world, is to watch that sunrise, and then sunset is the reverse. You start to see this disappear, and then it kind of goes away, and it disappears into the water. Very, very cool. I was taking this thing for the longest time. These random weirdo people just start to come up and stand right in front of where I'm taking a shot. No, they think, there's like, I'm just going to stand here in the way. It's so odd. And then they walked on. It was weird. There's a lot of awkward moments like that, everybody. I don't know why people are weird like that. And then here's my daughter standing there looking at the sunrise. My daughter had this fascination. She wanted to drink from a coconut. And I'm like, okay, that's weird. But whatever. And then she goes in there and it's like coconut water. Like you don't even want to drink it, right? It's like $20 to get this coconut. So she got the coconut. She poured out the coconut water. And then she put some Blue Crush lemonade in there and drank that instead. Very smart girl. And then this is us over here driving in the Tesla again. Now, great thing about the Tesla is it has great directions. The directions on there are awesome. And then we're going down here to a place called Shark's Cove, right over here, so they can go snorkeling. And this is Shark's Cove here, and these are all the different wildlife that you can see in the water. So you can go down there and go snorkeling, and there's no sharks there, everybody. But look at this. Look at this beautiful underwater thing that you can go see and whatnot. And there we go. So these are ancient coral reefs. You're not supposed to touch the coral reefs. And we were sitting right here on the beach. And then my kids went in right here. Now, I didn't go in, and I'm glad I didn't because I had cut the top of my head. When I was getting out of the car, I'd hit my head several times on the edge of the door frame because the Tesla sits really low. And so I got out, bam, hit my head really hard, and I cut the whole top of my head. And so had I gone in there, that would have been salt water into that. But I was just too tired. I was like, there's no way I'm going to be able to paddle out there. There's no way I'm going to be able to paddle in if I even do get out there. So I just let my kids go and do it. And they ran around and looked at all the sea creatures under there. And they just had the greatest time. And we're trying to jam this in on the last day. Because we only were in Hawaii for 3 days. Because that's as much as I could afford. Right? So we packed all of that stuff in 3 days. And so we're trying to jam this in on the last day. We got to get to our flight, which is like at 7 o'clock at night. Right? And so we went over here to do this, and it's just taking longer and longer and going further and further and getting closer and closer to that time in which we need to be at the airport. We got all of our luggage in the back of the car. We got all that stuff in there as well. And we're just YOLOing it, everybody. We're just hoping no one steals our stuff. And so they wanted to go snorkeling. I said, okay, let's do it. Getting the thumbs up there. Going snorkeling, another thumbs up. And they're in there snorkeling and having a great time looking at all the sea creatures. Oh, those are all 3 of my daughters, by the way. And it's just a great place to go. So if you do go to North Shore, definitely stop by Shark Cove. Now, we rented these masks and snorkels from the hotel, so I didn't have to carry them back and forth on the luggage. And then you just give them back. So they're like $15 each, depending on how long you're going to keep them. And then you just give them back to the hotel afterward. Kismet, having a good time. So we ran over here, and I saw this, and I thought this would make you guys laugh. Kismet has a turtle. What do you guys think in the chat? Let's see some GGs in the chat there, everybody. So we ran over here to see if there was any food over here because everybody was getting hungry. And I thought, well, I'll get the food and they can eat the food on the drive back. And I saw this and I was like, I got to get that going. And I made a silly face up there as well. Remind me very much of the thing in the thing. Now, remember, everybody, I raised $3,500 to do this trip. But I spent $20,000 on the flights to LA and all the other stuff that I'm doing and all this food and other stuff. Just so much money, way beyond what I intended to do originally, that I'll be paying on this stuff for 5 or 10 years in the future. It's just on my credit card, and then it's going to do interest on that credit card. And then when you're trying to pay down your interest, it's just going to go forever. But my option is not to do it, right? Oh, I'll wait till later. I'll just do it later, right? Well, that later never going to happen, everybody, because my oldest daughter's going off to college, and very soon, she'll find a boyfriend, she'll find that special someone, she'll get married, and that'll just happen like this. And then she'll move away and go college or find herself a job somewhere around the world, and then that'll be over. So this is like your last chance with your kids before they go off to college and do all that stuff, because I know I was the same way when I was in college. I just wanted to do my own thing after that. And I don't blame them. And me and my wife were very attentive parents. We were around all the time when they were growing up, and they've also got both parents, both the dad and the mom. And then, trying to help them get all sorts of experiences like going on trips and whatnot when they were young, when they go on like a band trip or they go they can go to a trip to New York and things like that. With school or with different groups like Girl Scouts and things like that. So we're just trying to expose them to as many things as we can so that they can figure out what they want to do in their life, right? That's what you want to do with your kids. You want to give them as many opportunities as they can to figure out what they like and what they dislike, right? Like one of my daughters did not like surfing at all, everybody. She got out there, very brave. She got out there and she just didn't stand all the way up, but she stood partial way up. and was up on her knees and hands, and then rode the wave in and was fine. But then she got whammied by a wave, and that's when you know, that's when you've earned your stripes as a surfer, by getting, when you get just a wave just drops on you out of nowhere because you try to paddle back in, you look up, bam, and it got me a couple times, it got all of my daughters a couple times, but especially that daughter who wasn't really into it. And she's a little afraid of stuff, everybody. She don't like scary stuff. She don't like slides that drop straight down like that. She doesn't do those. She's very timid, like my wife is, right? My wife very much the same way. She won't do all that kind of stuff because she's scared of it. But the whole point is when you overcome that fear. And then life is much better, everybody. I was afraid of surfing too. I didn't want to die because I could have easily died right there. And plus, also, by the way, there's coral reef under the water. And I cut myself a few times while I was in there. I cut my knee and my leg and my foot in there on the coral reef. But again, the option is not to do it. Sit around in your house and watch the same movie and watch some videos or watch TV, which I find a huge waste of time. Just such a time burner. People say, kidding me, you play games, right? You're wasting your time. Not as much time as people are wasting on TV. People watching that 3, 4, 5 hours a day times 7 days. That's a lot of TV time, everybody. My wife always has the TV on downstairs. I find it obnoxious. One, I hate the commercials because they're super obnoxious all the time. But two, there's nobody even home and the TV's on. I just turned it off this morning when I went down there, or really this afternoon when I got up. But I went down there, nobody there, TV on, lights on, nobody home. So I go around, and I feel like my dad every time I do it. Turn all the lights off, because I used to do that when I was a kid too, leave all the lights on and whatnot. But you don't realize it until you're the one paying the bill, that makes a difference. That makes a difference of like $100 a month, right? So you go around, you turn all the stuff off, you turn the TV off, you turn all the stuff off no one's using, and you save yourself $100 a month, which is $100 you could use for food, or you could use it for trips for your kids and whatnot. And this is the only trip I've been on in 10 years. That was like a vacation style thing. The other stuff is TwitchCon, which is like work. Because I'm just running from one place to another, and I'm streaming over here, and I'm doing this, and I'm doing that, and I'm talking to this vendor, and talking to that game developer, and whatnot. So I'm just running from place to place most of the time when you go to TwitchCon. But this was actually, I had a few moments I could just chill. Just chill out and have a good time, and this is one of those moments right there. And so we got these burgers, everybody. I don't know why I didn't take a picture of the burgers. The burgers were like this big. And they had a burger, and then it had a slice of pineapple on it, and then 2 things of onion rings, and it was huge, and it was awesome, by the way. Those are saying, but it was so messy, and I forgot to get the napkins, and that's how I hit my head, by the way. When we got back, because after this, we got a bunch of food for everybody. We gave the food, we got back in the car, and we started driving back to our hotel because we had to pack. And they let us give us a couple extra hours, like 4 extra hours, so we could pack and I could do all this other stuff. Otherwise, we wouldn't have done this. Otherwise, we wouldn't have done Shark Cove and all of that. We would have just packed and got out of there. But I'm also trying to ship stuff back, which never worked its way out. I tried to ship stuff back to the U.S. so I didn't have to take it in my bags, but we eventually ended up just packing it in the bags as much as we could. Whatnot. So I'm driving back, and then, of course, their hands are all got food on it, and they have no napkins. So I had to get out of the car, and I was rushing to get out of the car. My daughter's talking to me, and bam, I hit my head, and I cut my head open big time. Didn't even realize it because I had my hat on. And then, of course, the hat itself has this little metal piece on it, and that metal piece put a dent in the top of my head and basically cut my head really bad. And I didn't even realize it because I had the hat on. And I was rushing, and I was just trying to do as many things as I do. And I'm normally dizzy, so I didn't realize the reason why I was getting so incredibly dizzy was because I had cut myself. But I was trying to do as much as I could. So we got back. I ran in there, got them some napkins so they could do their hands, and then we ran in there, and we literally had like 1 hour to get our stuff packed, but I also had to charge the car. So I had to go to the Polynesian Center right next door and charge the car so that we'd have enough juice to get all the way back to the airport. So I had that running for about an hour while I ran back, and then I had like 30 minutes to pack, and then we had to get out of there, and right at 4 o'clock, they knocked on the door. Right. They're like knocking on the door. We're like, oh, we're ready. And then we ran out of there right exactly at 4 o'clock. So we literally were just jamming stuff in our suitcase, choosing what we don't want anymore, getting rid of all the other stuff that we couldn't fit in there, food and all of that. We put that all in the trash, and we said, that's it, we're out of here. And so we got out of there, and we were good. We were good. And then from there, we had to go all the way down. Cute little baby, chicken or duck or something there. Back of the Polynesian Center here. And then this is the Wayfarers. Or not the Wayfarers. Yeah, this is the Wayfarers. This is the Wayfarers. Me and my wife stayed right here 23 years ago on our honeymoon in 1999, everybody. Stayed right there in that one, and we can see the beach, which is right behind here. This is like a bar and a kind of area where you can sit, drink, and have food. Beautiful tree. They actually built the hotel around this tree. This tree is ancient. It is so awesome. Beautiful, beautiful spot. And of course, this is the most famous beach in the world, everybody. This is Waikiki Beach right here. So I wanted my daughters to at least, see Waikiki Beach before we left Oahu. And this is very built up. It's so packed full of people there, but there's 10,000 people there, even during the week. And of course, again, another shot of Waikiki Beach here. Another shot of the hotel there, the surf rider. Very, very beautiful beach. And then I bought them all a Shirley Temple because I bought one for my other daughter because they went off shopping to go get themselves at the last minute, everybody. We got a little like 1 hour before we got to be to our flight. At the last minute, they want to go shopping. And so my other daughter came with me and we fixed the luggage and just put all the stuff in there instead of trying to ship it. And then I bought her one of those Shirley Temples, and then she was drinking, and then they all come back, and then I had to buy them all Shirley Temples as well. And there she is, sitting on the beach in Waikiki, everybody. Pretty awesome. Drinking. Now, this happened when I was going along, when I was parking the car. And you guys saw this last time if you were watching, but I'll show it again. So 2 seconds before this, I pulled into the thing. And this is like one of those little U-shaped driveways. And I just pulled in, and these guys come down the street. So had I had pulled in later, I would have been behind this. And then we would have been late for our flight. Absolutely. Because we just barely made it to our flight after this. But very cool. Just a whole bunch of people going down the thing with their electric bikes and regular bikes and just going down the street, having a little parade right down there, having a good time. So, gotta love it. And then we're out of there, everybody. We flew to Chicago. And you're like, Kevin, why'd you fly to Chicago? Because that's how you end up there. And then you fly out of there as well. Because it's like a hub for transport. So, flew in there. Beautiful clouds, everybody. And, of course, there's Chicago there. Enjoy. I think that's Chicago. I love this when you can see the coral reefs when you're going back. More Chicago. And here we are, back home again. Basically, this is 5,000 miles roughly in a single day. So what we did is we left 9 p.m. the night of. We did a red eye. Then we arrived in LAX. Then we flew for 5 hours to Chicago right there. And then from Chicago, flew home to East Tennessee. Yes, that's a lot. That's like 12, 13 hours of travel right there. All summed up in a few seconds. And there we are, landed back home again. Very awesome. An incredibly fun adventure. Now, these are all going to be surf photos here, everybody. There you go. There's the full adventure that happened. But here's my daughter right here. Up first try, by the way. Again, my other daughter up first try. That's so hard to do, everybody. You got to think, you're sitting on a wave. It's her first time on a surfboard. It's for her first time surfing, and that's good instruction if you can do it. And, of course, very quickly after, right in there, here's my daughter. She didn't want to stand up. She just wanted to, because she watched us already eat it already. And she just wanted to be like that, and that's okay. She went out there, and she was brave, and she tried it anyway, and that's awesome. Now, again, this is Chris right here on the right side. He was one of the instructors that was helping us, and he's helping my daughter. My daughter, of course, there I am sitting over there, and he's taking me out to do mine. She's having a great time, which is awesome. And then she gets up first try. And then just continues to. She had the longest ride of the day as well. She got up there on one of those waves, and the wave pushed her all the way into the shore. She had the longest ride. Now, my other daughter back here, by the way, had the biggest wave. She had the biggest wave of the day. And these waves started getting bigger and bigger and bigger while we were there. I was like the almighty trying to troll me or something. I'm just looking for small waves, everybody. I'm not to prove nothing to nobody. I just tried to get up once. But yeah, they actually started getting bigger and bigger. So yeah, crushed it. Nailed that wave. Big time. And then off she goes. Here's the old man talking with Seven here. Seven, this is how I used to look when I was young, everybody. I used to look like this. I was in incredible shape. Look at this old worn-out man there, 53-year-old man out there trying to be a surfer once again. But you know, you got to do it, everybody. You got to give it your all. Great shot of me and him talking. Great guy. Look at me straining, everybody. My back is killing me. I'm dizzy. I feel super weak from paddling. And I'm just like, I'm going to stand up on this board. That's what I'm telling myself right here in this moment. I'm going to do this. This is going to happen. I'm going to stand up on this board and I'm going to go for it. And there's the buoy where everybody's standing around. They're handing the leash. So you do it. And look at this. I'm just determined to make it happen because it's so hard for me to do at my age, everybody. It's incredibly difficult. I'm overweight. I'm still about 30 to 50 pounds overweight. And so I've got to lift my big fat gut up, get up into where I have my knees and hands down, and then I have to bring my foot up, turn it sideways, and then stand up on the board at 53 years old. And remember that 9 years ago, everybody, I was trapped in the bed. I couldn't even walk to the bathroom. Yeah, that bad. It was that bad back then. And so my wife was like taking care of me. And then I was going to the doctors to try to figure out what's up. But there I am, everybody. Boom, boom, boom. Go do your thing. Stands up. Goes here. Waiting for the thing. And I'm up. Right there, everybody. That's 9 years in the making right there. 9 years in the making. And, of course, that's not the part you guys are here to watch. You're here to watch me go, boom, right in the water a couple seconds later. So I ain't going to pretend like I went in there and rode that all the way in, everybody. No, I was just a few seconds. I was up, but that's all I needed, everybody. And this is really for my daughters, everybody, not for me. I've been surfing before, but I wanted to prove to them that no matter what, you could do anything you put your mind to, and I did. I made it happen. And then, boom, right in the water I went. And then my daughters, of course, go in there. Great shot of 7 there. And I'm just like, by this point, by the way, I've already gone out a couple times. And my arms are just killing me. And I'm thinking to myself, I can't even paddle myself in, let alone back out to go for another wave. So I'm like telling 7, I'm like, 7, I've got no power, man. Can you take me back out there? And you can see, look at how much pain I'm in. Look at that face. Look at how much pain I'm in. I'm in a ton of back pain right there, everybody. But I'm not giving up. Not giving up. Don't ever give up. Don't let pain or fear stop you from doing amazing things in your life. Whatnot. This is right before they just got slammed by a wave, by the way. They just got absolutely slammed. She did not like it. She was very unhappy. You can see that look on her face, too. You can see these guys are out here surfing with their dog there in the background, which is funny. Look at that. She got all the way to knee position. All she had to do was stand up just one time, but she didn't want to, and that's okay. Other daughter was crushing it. Man, they just kept, my other 2 daughters, look at this shot. This is what happens if you're too far on the board. What happens is that the front of the board dips in, and it just splashes you with water right in the face. I did that on my first wave. Yeah, right in the face. And then same thing there. And look at that. She's up. Few seconds. I got it. And then they tell you how to fall. And, of course, these are some other people that are out there with us as well. There's some random people. Watch this. This is him showing off. Again, this is 7, one of the instructors at Jamie O'Brien. Watch this, him showing off. He's going to do a reverse, everybody. Notice that the board is backwards, right? Those are the fins in the back. Watch what he does. He spins around. And turns it around the opposite way and then gets up on the wave. He's like, yeah, watch this, noobs. I thought it was funny. More shakas going on there. Having a good time. Woo, you can actually see the action of the waves going up and down. And look at those waves are getting pretty big there too. Look at this. Whoa. And it's only getting, because we're with the shallow part, everybody. It's getting bigger in the shallow part. There's my daughter crushing it. There's me trying to get up. Go ahead, old man. Get up there. Get up there, old man. And then, I don't know, they're talking. My other daughter just do it. Now, that's actually not the same one. They actually do look like each other, but this one here only got up to that position. And then my other daughter all the way up. Here's Kismet trying to get up, and then, does he got it? Nope. Right in the wave he goes. I fell off a bunch of times. My daughters are loving this, by the way. My daughters love to see the old man fail. There's nothing more enjoyable to your children than when she fails. Yeah, she's laughing over there as I'm trying to get up on the thing. You got to think, everybody, I'm 180 pounds. I'm 53 years old. I haven't done any strength training in a really long time, but I did train for a while and worked on my health. I lost 50 pounds and all of that, and I was doing a lot of walking, and I've been doing a little bit of sit-ups and things like that to strengthen myself enough so I can even get to this point. just to even go out a few times and do it. But again, this is all about my daughters, and it's all about this look on her face right here, everybody. Look at her. Look at her. She's having a great time. And she's also enjoying the fact that I'm about to fall off that board. Right there. And bam, right in the water I went. And of course, that's why you guys are really here. You're here to watch me fail. Right in the water I go. Look at this. This is me absolutely exhausted. And this is dude towing me in. I also got slammed a few times. Oh, I hit my microphone. I got slammed a few times right before this. The waves were getting really big and they kept slamming me down. And I could barely get up on the board. Everybody, I'm trying to just get myself up on the board. And then I'm exhausted. I can't even paddle. So dude is pulling me in with his foot there. He's actually pulling me back over there. And he's like, do you want to give up? You want to go in? I'm like, nah, let's do one more. And so one more, I go do another one. And of course, my daughter right there. And I think that's the one she rode all the way in. That one brought her all the way into the middle. And then my other daughter up again. Awesome. Look at that. Nailing it. And then down she went. And this was ahead of time here when he was explaining a bit about how to do the surfboard. He's talking about the surfboard with me and my daughters, giving us some instruction on how to first get up. So first you're flat, then you push yourself up like this into kind of an arc position. Then you get up into this position where you go into your knees down first. You bring your foot up. And then you got to do all this to get up on the board, everybody. And then you get up and you turn sideways and you stay low, right? You stay low. Otherwise, if you stand up, you're going to fall. But you stay low. That's why surfers are down like that, to keep your center balance low. And then you aim in the direction you want to go. So there you go. Now you know how to surf too. Right there. And then my daughter's trying it out. Whatnot. She's laughing because he's really funny, by the way. Seven was really funny. He's making us all laugh. Kismet in the back here going, oh my God, I'm going to die. I'm going to die from this. There I am on there learning. And I'm like, give me a minute. I'm old. There I am practicing to surf, everybody. And then, of course, we went out and we went surfing after that. Very, very fun. Great photos. Right over there. There we are going down, getting ready to surf. We'll skip through a bunch of these. Dude is jacked, by the way. I used to be like that. I used to be in that shape when I was young. Incredible shape. So I'd be doing stuff all the time. You're very active. You're running around doing a whole bunch of stuff. Now, one of the things that I think surfing is all about, everybody, is surfing is falling with style. Because you're only going to be on that surfboard for a little bit amount of time. I'll go back over here where I'm standing on the surfboard. There we go. And of course, my daughter is laughing. They're all laughing at me because I'm an old man, trying to do a young man's thing. But they don't realize that I already did this. I did this when I was young. I did a lot of surfing. I was always at the beach, boogie boarding, and doing all of that stuff. And see, when you stop being active, what it does is it actually ages you. The more inactive you become, the more aged up you get because you start getting weaker. Your immune system starts getting weaker as well. And that's why people really die. They really die because they become inactive. Now, of course, a lot of times also, you might get a disease or you might have inherited a disease from your family or the predisposition to get a disease. But really, it's because you become inactive. When you're not out there doing something, and I was always very active, but what I did is I got so focused on working and making money that I stopped taking care of myself. And that's how I got where it is. So, buyer beware. You guys try to go a different path than I did because, I was very successful. So I enjoyed my success. We go out to eat all the time. I've eaten pie and candy and ice cream and all of that stuff. And when you're an adult, right, you start eating however you want versus how you should be eating, which is, healthy and all of that stuff. And then, of course, you're not being active. You're not working out. You're not going out and surfing, and you're not going out and running, and you're not doing all of those things. And then that weight just builds up, especially when you're sitting at the computer all day like I am. And it's a good idea to take a break every now and again, right? Every hour or 2 hours, just get up, take a break, walk around, and get your metabolism going again. And then you sit back down an hour or two and then do the same thing. Of course, I'm already 2 hours in right here. But this was all possible because of all of you. So big love to all of you for, of course, making this possible because I did raise funds for this part here, which is paying for the surf lessons. And then, of course, the airfare there and back again from LAX, by the way, not from the East Coast. That was just from LAX and back. That was like, $3,000 right there. And then, of course, the other, how much ever, $15,000 I just put on a credit card. 2 credit cards, as a matter of fact. Worked them credit cards, but I did get some cash back on some of it, which I used to pay the card down a little bit. But overall in that's probably $20,000 I spent on this one trip that lasted 10 days. So basically I was spending $2,000 a day to do this project right here. So crazy. And again, that'll be on my credit card for the next 5 to 10 years, however long it takes for me now to pay it off. And of course the interest on it and whatnot is going to be nutty, but you can't take away the experiences. My daughters will never forget the moment that they went surfing in Hawaii with their dad. It's pretty awesome. Pretty awesome. And that is the One Last Wave project. So thanks for watching, everybody. Appreciate that. Now what we're going to do is take a quick break, and I'm going to give you guys a little bit of fun in the chat. Then we're going to switch over to some Satisfactory. So yeah, project complete, real life achievement unlocked, everybody. Right there. Amazing, by the way. It feels like a dream that actually really happened, that happened right at the last second. By the way, you can help, you can thank all the awesome people who donate, including TDK there, who donated a lot at the last second when I was going to cancel it, by the way. I was going to cancel it because I didn't have enough for the travel and whatnot. And at the very last second, boom, that came through, and that allowed us to go from Hawaii, from LAX to Hawaii, and then back again. Because I've already made reservations for everything else, and I'd already paid for all the tickets and everything to all of that various stuff that we did there as well. Now, if you guys want to watch that back, of course, you can watch that back on my VODs, and eventually this will roll out also on my YouTube as well. All right, so what we're going to do is play a little bit of Words on Stream while I take a quick break, walk around, come back. We're going to do some Satisfactory, and I've been letting the Satisfactory Update 8 run all night long, so it's got massive amount of resources, and we're going to kind of switch gears here and play some games. So let's go. Right here, you guys can just do this right in the chat, and I'll be right back after I press the button. I'm back, everybody. I put a 1 in the chat if you can see and hear me. I appreciate y'all coming back. So yeah, that was a great, fun time, everybody. I know my kids will remember that forever. Big love to Notorious TDK right there, again, for that huge donation, showing that love. Thanks to everybody in the chat, as well. Skis Row in LA was bad in the 80s. Yes, Skids Row, yep. Yeah, it actually got really bad in Venice, too. All the homeless people moved in Venice, as well. You did it, man. Surf's up. Yes, I did. I did it, everybody. It actually was a thing that actually happened. It's amazing. Amazing. And again, that's it for the One Last Wave project, everybody. That's going to be it. That kind of review. Now, again, if you want to see more of this, you can check it out on my Twitter. Also, take this video and, of course, put it up on YouTube and whatnot, so you guys can see that. Didn't get as much video as I would hope. My wife was taking video, and she take horrible videos, so I just ignored those. I'm like this big. You can't see me out there. She didn't bother to zoom in or to turn it sideways and do whatever. But, you know, that's the way it goes, everybody. You can't complain about your wife if she's your only photographer or only videographer there as well. So, you know, I tried. That's the thing. I also tried to stream from there. The internet was terrible. I tried even from my phone. I tried 1,000 different ways. I burned up so much time doing all of that technical stuff too. A whole bunch of hours upon hours of just trying to get the thing to work. And I only got it to work once. I was in the hotel. I had it in the corner of the hotel and the thing, and I had the Wi-Fi hooked up, and I got their fastest Wi-Fi, which was still terrible. And I paid for that to get that going, and it still just was a trade wreck. But everything worked out in the end, everybody. We did all of the things we wanted to do, mostly, and it was an incredible adventure that me and my kids will never forget, ever. And, of course, brought to you all by you guys, for you guys' love and attention, sponsored by you guys, and, of course, also my other awesome sponsors, Bethesda and Bethesda Gear, and everyone who lurked in my channel or hit the follow button or just cheered me on over the last 9 years saying, Kismet, you got this, brother. There's the living proof right there. Right there. Awesome. All right, so let's switch over to some Satisfactory and have some fun doing that. Let's go. Hey, thanks for watching this video. Help support more videos just like this one and keep the Kismet love train a-going by dropping by my Patreon and showing your support. Big thanks going out to Resident Spike, Rotisserie G, JC Hunter, AMZ, Carlos, Jeremiah, the Notorious TDK, and Scriptlin. Click to watch more videos, and I'll see you next time.